Hello everyone. In this video, I will discuss with you about the basics of programming. Okay. Now see, first of all, we will see where this programming part is important to us. Okay. Now see, first of all, see if you are a CSS student, okay, or if you are any student and if you want to write a code, okay, if you want to write a code or if you want to program a code, so first of all you should know that what is the basic flow of your program, how your program executes, okay, and what are the variables functions present in it. Okay, so see, if you will know the basics of this, that how your programs will execute, what is the flow of your program, then you can code in any language, okay, in any language like C++, Java, Python. Only the difference is that their syntax part is different, otherwise the basic flow part or the execution part is almost same. Okay, so for that, if you want to code any program, so first of all you should know the basics of the programming part, that how your program will execute, what is the basic flow of your program. Okay, so first of all, where your this programming part is needed in the coding. Okay, so if you want to code any program, then this programming part is important. Okay, now the second one, see if you are sitting for any campus placements or interviews, so how the exam division is that, see, first one is your aptitude part, one aptitude part will come, and the second and the most important part is your, that they will ask some questions on your C. Okay, they will give a sample code on C or any language, and then they will give you four options and will ask you the what are the outputs of what is the output of this program, and you have to choose among those four options like that. Okay, so for that also, there also they will give you a code in a C or any language. So basically they will give you a program and they will ask you the final output. Now if you know the execution of the program, that how your program executes, you can execute there only. Okay, and you can find the final output of your program. Okay, so there also this programming is very much needed. Okay, the second is your in your campus placements. Okay, if you're in your campus placements also, these questions will be asked on your programming part. Okay, and see if some product based companies are there, then they can ask you to write a code also for a particular given program. Okay, so for that also you should know the basics of your programming, then only you can write a code for any a big logical program also. Okay, because then there will be logic only that you have to think, but the basic flow of execution, that how your program will execute, that you should know in that also. Okay, what are the variables, how to use the variables, okay, what are the functions, how to use them, so this all you should know. Okay, and the third, where your this part is important, see if you are writing any competitive exam like your GATE or ISRO or UGC net, so all these types of exams, see, you know what is the basic important subject is your data structure and programming. Now in this programming part, minimum 3-4 questions will be there on this programming part. Okay, here the same, they will give a program, a code to you, and they will a final output will be asked. Okay, that what is the output of this program, that can be a recursive program, iterative program, like this they will give a simple program. Okay, and then they will ask you what is the output of your program. So where the third, where it is important is in your any competitive examinations. Okay, so if you are writing any competitive examinations, there also this programming part is very important. Okay, okay, in your competitive examination, it can be any competitive examination like your GATE, ISRO, and anyone. Okay, so there, then in this part is very important. Okay, now see, I will tell you about the basics of programming, but I will not tell you any theory part. Okay, I will take more and more examples, and with examples only, wherever the concept is there or wherever theory part is there, I will discuss there only. Oh, okay, because see, simply discussing the theory, you will never remember it. Okay, if we will take the theory part in your examples, and with the implementation, when it will come as in a practice or in a practical, then you will remember it for a longer time, and then that time you can remember it, that how the different types of concept we can use in our basic programming. Okay, so now see, I will take a simple example first, and then we will see the execution of that program. Okay, Now see, this program is given to you. Okay, so this program is given to you and you are asked to write the output of this program. Okay, now see, what you can see in this function is, see, now what you will, by after seeing a program, so first of all, what is the first thing that will come to your mind is that from where we have to start it. Okay, so from where we have to start the execution of this program. Okay, so now the first thing you have to remember is that the execution of any program will start from your main function present in your program. Okay, so it is not that you have to start the execution of your program from this first lines of code or last lines of code. Wherever your main function is present, that is the start of your program. From that point you have to start executing your program. Okay, so this main function can be present either in the start of your code or in the ending of your code. Anywhere it can be present, but your program will start from there only, wherever your this main function is present. Now we will see in the whole program. First of all, we will find our where our main function is present. Okay, so now we will check. See, our main function is present here. Now the execution of our program will start from here. If this main function would be anywhere here, then our program execution would have started from there only. Okay, so this is the first thing you have to remember. Now see, now your program has started from here. Okay, now what are you seeing here? This is a main function, means a function with the name main. Okay, and this is the starting of your function, that is marked with the this open curly bracket, and the ending of your program is with this, by the this here closing curly bracket. So this function is from here to here. Okay, so this function starts from here and ends here. Now you can see here it has some instructions inside it. Okay, so execution of this any function, or this any function, what does it mean? That executing all the statements present inside it. Okay, so now when all the functions of this when all the statements or the instruction of this function will be executed, means you have completed the execution of that particular function. Now you can see here this is divided into a two instruction. This is your first instruction and this is your second instruction. So this main function comprises of these two instructions. So if these two instructions will be executed, means your main function is completed. Okay, so now this is your main function. Now what you can see in the program, see the like main function, there is another function B function. This is the representation of any function. Okay, the name of the function with this curly bracket. So this is another function given here with starting curly braces and ending, means this program started from, this function is starting from here and ending here. Again one function is present, C function, which is starting here and ending here, and again one more function is present here, D, which is starting here and ending here. So this is the, these 1 2 3 4 functions are present here, and all are having some instruction inside it. Okay, now you can see a variable int a equals to 5 is declared here, which is not inside any of these functions. Okay, so these types of functions which are not present inside any functions and are present in your program, these are called your global variables. Okay, these are called your global variables. Why? Because these are globally present in the program, not restricted to particular function. Okay, and the functions which are present, and the variables which are present inside your any function, those are called your local variables. Those are called your local variables. Fine. Now see, for this main function, a is the local variable. Local variable means the scope of this variable is within this function only. The value of a equals to 10 is the value of a within this function only, within main function only. It will be represented with the value 10. Again see, again this a is again the local variable for this b function, and the value of a equals to 20 will be within this function only. Same for a equals to 30 for function c. Okay, so in this way these are called your local variables which are present inside the particular function. Those variables are called a local variable of that function, because the scope of that variable will be inside that function only, or the value of that variable will be this 10, like this 10 here in this function only. Okay, so first of all, what you have learned here now, we have two types of variable. First is your global variable, second is your local variable. Okay, the variable which is globally present in a program, not restricted to any particular function, that is called your global variable, and the variables which are present in a particular function, those are called the local variable of that particular function. Okay, now these are the two types of variables. Okay, now see, what we can see here is, now this a the same variable name we are using in all the functions. Okay, so now is this possible in a program that you are you are using a same variable with different values, but the variable name is same everywhere, you are using the variable with the name a. So is this possible in a program? Yes, this is possible. How? If you are using the, if you are using that variable in a particular function with the a particular function. Okay, so now see, like this a, the value is 10, you are using in this function only, but you cannot have a two variable with the same name inside a particular function. Okay, like here we have two three variables, we have this variable with the same name, but these are inside different functions, but within the same function we cannot have two variable with the same name. Like I cannot have here int a is equals to 10, and I cannot have again int a equals to 5 here. Okay, if I will have int a is equals to 10, a equals to 5 here in this function only. Okay, now see, if I will say something print a, if I will say here print a, now which a this function will print? Okay, a is having value of 10 also and a is having value 5 also. Now print a, now which value it will print? It will get confused here only. So this is your, what is this? This is your ambiguous statement. Now it will also confuse which value it has to print. So within the same function you cannot have the two variables with the same name. Okay, now this you can understood like this also. Okay, like see, एक घर में देखो, एक घर में अगर एक कोई गोलू नाम का बच्चा है, ठीक है ना, तो इस घर में भी एक गोलू नाम का बच्चा हो सकता है, इस घर में भी एक गोलू नाम का बच्चा हो सकता है, इस घर में भी एक गोलू नाम का बच्चा हो सकता है, लेकिन क्या एक घर में दो गोलू नाम के बच्चे हो सकते हैं? दो, अगर दो तो नहीं हो सकते हैं, वो तो पेरेंट्स से कंफ्यूज कर जाएंगे कि किस गोलू को हम कॉल कर रहे हैं, है ना। गोलू तो एक ही हो सकता है एक घर में, तो सेम अ दो गोलू एक घर में नहीं हो सकते, बट दो ये गोलू नाम के बच्चे अलग अलग घर में हो सकते हैं, है ना। सो this is important here that in a function, within a same function you cannot have the variable, two variable with the same name. Fine. Now but within the program and within different functions you can have the variable with the same name. Okay, fine. So this was our program given. Now what we have to do here is, what I have told you, that we have to start from the main function. So we'll start from the main function. So first statement of our main function is int a equals to 10. Okay, now see what happened when this program will execute. Okay, you are allocated a stack memory. Okay, you are allocated a stack memory at the runtime. Fine. Now see what will happen when this main function will be executed. So you are allocated a memory here for this. Okay, and now the first statement is int a equals to 10. So what will happen now here is okay, a memory will be allocated to this variable a, okay, with the name a, okay, and the value stored will be here 10. Fine. Okay, and this is of integer type, so a 4-byte memory will be allocated to this variable a, okay, at some particular address. Let us suppose 1000 address. Okay, so this is allocated a memory of 4 bytes and the value will be 10 here. Okay, now what is the second statement? Second statement is b, so it is calling your b function now. So the now it is when it will call your b function, so what we have to do, we have to go to your b function. Okay, now see, it will go to your b function. Now b is your here, so it will go first to the b function. Now see what will happen again. Now when it is calling this b function, again what will happen in your stack? Okay, this, for this b function again a memory will be allocated. Now we have to first execute this function. Now what is there in this B function? Again, int a equals to 20. Now again, a memory will be allocated to this variable a, okay, with some address, let us suppose here, and a value 20 will be given to it. Okay, this will happen here. Okay, now see, when this is calling this B function, again when we are coming to this B function, so to complete this function we have to complete all the statements present in this function. Okay, when these statements will be completed, then only our this function will be completed. Now first step is int equals to 20, that we have allocated, so first statement is completed. Now when we will move to the second statement, now in second statement is calling your C function. Now we have to go to your C function, because second statement is execution of C function. Now it will come here to the C function. Now when it will come to the C function, again here a memory will be allocated in stack to the C function. Okay, now again this C function has your three statement, 1, 2 and 3. Okay, now it will execute these three statements. So first is your int a equals to 30. Now again what it will do here, a variable, okay, again a memory will be allocated to it of 4 bytes, and this value 30 will be stored there. Okay, now for this a equals to 30, this statement is executed. Now see, now we will come to the second statement. Now in the second statement is calling a D function. Now what we have to do, we have to go to the D function. So where is the D function? The execution will go from here to your D function. Okay, now again when we are calling this D function, again a memory will be allocated here to this D function. Okay, now to complete this D function, what we have to do, we have to execute all the statement. Now what is the statement present here is printf a. So the statement is we have to print the value of a. Now see what we are seeing here in this function. Okay, it has not assigned any value of a to it. Okay, it does not have any variable with the name a. Now which value it will print now? Okay, so now this is the important part. Okay, now here comes the concept of your static scoping and your dynamic scoping. Okay, so two terms are there. Sorry, first is your static scoping and second one is your dynamic scoping. Okay, so first is your static scoping and second one is your dynamic scoping. Now we'll see what is the difference between these two types of scoping. Okay, now see what happen in your static scoping. If you are using your static scoping, now what will happen if we are printing the value a here? Now which value it will print here, because it does not have any value inside in this particular function. Okay, now see in static scoping, this a will take the value of the global variable present in your program. Okay, now see this global variable also will be assigned a value. What is the value? 5. Okay, and at some address, okay, like some address 4000 is assigned. Okay, so this global variable, when you have initialized it, it will also get a memory allocation of 4 bytes. Okay, at some particular address. Okay, now in status scoping, what you will do, you have to print the value. This variable will take the value of its global variable. Fine, now see here printf a. Now what the value will be printed here? Your value, what is the value of this a? 5. Okay, so first of all this 5 will be printed here. Okay, and what happens in your dynamic scoping? Okay, that we will see later. Now you have to, now what will happen, see, now this statement is executed. Okay, now means, and this function is having only this one way statement. Now when this statement is executed means we have completed this function. Now when we have completed this function, we'll move back from where we have come to this function. Okay, so now from where we have come here, we have come from here to this function. Okay, now D, now for this C function, its first statement was executed. D, this is also completed. Now it will come to the third statement. Okay, now it will come to the third statement. So third statement for this function is your printf a. Okay, now this a, which a it will print now? So printf a. Now this function is having its own local variable, its own variable. So when you are calling this when you are printing this A, now here what will be printed? 30 will be printed. Okay, now in this cases we don't have to worry because we are ourselves having this particular value of our any variable in this function. Okay, so printf A equals to, it will print the value 30. Okay, so second your 30 will be printed. Okay, now you can, yeah, now you can see here, now see for this C function you have all the three steps are completed, all the three statements are completed for this C function. We have printed the value also. Now again when this C function is completed, it will again go to the point from where it got executed. Okay, from where it got called. Okay, now see, we have called the C function from here. Now this is completed, means this part is completed. Now we will move to the third statement of this function. Okay, now for this function the third is printf A. Again A, we have already value here 20, so for this third statement we'll get the value 20, so this value 20 will be printed here. Okay, in the third time this value 20 will be printed. Okay, and here in the stack also you can see that A, what is the value? 20. We have not changed any value here. Okay, now again see, this for this function these three statements are completed, means this function is completed. Now again you will move back from where it is called. Okay, now see, when you will come here, now for this from main function you have called this function. Now for this main function also, it's both the statements are completed. Now means this main function is also completed. Now you can see, now your main function is completed, means your execution part is completed now. Okay, now you can see also you have covered the complete program also. Okay, so this was your static scoping, where you were using the value global variable value wherever a free variable is present, means a variable which is not initialized with any value. Now second is your dynamic scoping. Okay, now in dynamic scoping what you have to do is, okay, again when this function is called and you have reached here, now here which value you have to print is, in dynamic scoping you have to print the value which is just before to it. Okay, so D is called here. Now the value which is present just before to it, or the function from where it is called. Okay, so it is called from the C function. This D is called from the C function here. Okay, and this function only is the nearest to it. So the value which is nearest to it, we will, from where it is called, you will print that value. Now for this time printf A, the value A equals to 30 will be printed. Fine. So this is the only difference between static and dynamic scoping. You have to remember, static scoping will use the global variable value. In dynamic scoping you will use the value which is just before to it. Okay, okay, which is nearest to it. Okay, so this C function is nearest to it. From here only it is called, so you will print the value 30 here. Now see, this is completed. Now again when this D function is completed, you will again move to here. Now again you have to print A here, so again this value now 30 will be printed for this C function. Okay, you have to print the value A here. Now this C, that is the, now the other steps are same only. This is completed, means you have called from here. Now you have to print the value A here. Okay, and this you have to remember that when you have completed any function, you have to go to that point only from where you have called it. Okay, so you have called it from here. When you have completed this, means this is completed. Now you have to execute a third statement also. Okay, so now you will move to the third statement. Now printf A equals to 20. Now here again 20 will be printed. Okay, sorry, here 20 will be printed. Okay, okay, 20 will be printed. And again when these three steps are completed, means your this function is completed. So you will have again moved to the point from where it got called. Okay, so it got called from here. Now it does not have any third statement here, means, and the program is also terminated, means now the both the statements are completed, so this function is also here completed. Okay, so this was the, in this way you have to move one statement by one statement and complete your execution of the program. Okay, so here we have discussed about the two static and dynamic scoping also. Now see, by default which scoping is used in your program is your static scoping. This is by default. Okay, okay, so now if you're writing this program in your any language like C, C++, Java, in all these types of language, static scoping is followed. Okay, whenever if you will execute this program, you will get this result. Okay, so Now what you can do is you can implement this program also. See, this is the basic programming part. Now you can add, if you want to execute this in C, you can add the simple syntax to it, okay, whatever the syntax is present, and you can execute this program and you can check the result, at what is the result it is giving. So it will give this result only. For Java also this will give this result only, okay. For Java also you can create a class and put all this all these function, this program inside it, and then execute this program, okay. The basic syntax you have to use, like defining this like this function is given, then you have to here define the type of this function. That simple syntax you can add to it and you can execute this program and see the result what it is giving, okay. So these languages will use, and some other languages like Perl and all, that have some specific variables or something different assigned to it. But the basic languages like C, C++, Java, they will always by default use the static scoping only, okay, in its execution, okay. So okay, so this was the simple flow of a program execution, okay. So now what we have learned here is that from where our program gets started execution, what are the global and local variables, what is the implementation part, how we will implement a program, okay, and the two types of scoping, static and dynamic scoping, okay. So this was a simple basic program. So okay, now in other next video I will take some complicated examples, and in that only I will cover the other concept present in these programming part, okay. So okay, so we'll meet in the next video. Thank you.